Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I'm Deacon Mike Lynch with Good Shepherd Church. This week we prepare with the gospel message for the 32nd Sunday of Ordinary Time, a reading from the Gospel according to Mark. In the course of his teaching, Jesus said to the crowds, "Beware of the scribes who like to go around in long robes and accept greetings in the marketplaces, seats of honor in synagogues, and places of honor at banquets. They devour the houses of widows and, as a pretext, recite lengthy prayers. They will receive a very severe condemnation." He sat down opposite the treasury and observed how the crowd put money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums. A poor widow also came and put in 2 small coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples to himself, he said to them, "Amen, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury, for they have all contributed from their surplus wealth, but she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood." Here's another gospel story in which Jesus might seem to condemn rich people, but reading the text carefully shows the story is more complicated than that. The context of the first part of the story is important to notice. Prominent men of the synagogue, the scribes, liked to be treated with honor in public because of their status in Jewish society. But Jesus condemns them for acting hypocritically in the way they treat outcasts in their society, such as widows who had no one to protect them. The faithful are warned, wrote an 8th century English Benedictine monk, St. Bede, warned to avoid those who set too much store in such honors. That leads to the second part of the gospel story, which develops this lesson further. Jesus watches rich people contributing to the temple out of what he calls their surplus wealth, that is, excess money they don't really need for their expenses. So what they give requires no special effort or sacrifice on their part, but they want to be seen giving large amounts. While the poor widow gave a very small amount, it was all she had, as Jesus put it, her whole livelihood and her poverty. The widow was necessarily detached from worldly things, including wealth. That's a detachment that Jesus praises here and in other gospel stories. The teaching of Jesus, I think, is this: give to the church's needs and the charitable causes as if it's one of the normal, natural expenditures from one's budget. Don't give only when we have extra or surplus money to give. St. Josemaria Escrivá wrote of this gospel story, "Give him, that is God, what you can. The merit is not whether it is big or small, but in the intention with which you give it." So I ask you, and yes, ask myself, is it my intention to give of my resources, time, talent, and treasure as a routine, regular part of my budget, of my life? Here's some things for household and family discussion. Often young people do not have a realistic idea of the amount of money your family earns or the expenses within a household. As a family, discuss your household expenses. Talk about whether all the expenses are necessary. With all the responsibilities involved in stewardship of a family, how do you determine how much to give to the church and other charitable organizations? Young people should also be encouraged to give to the church and charities. How can your family be more generous with the precious gift of time? And here are some household and family activities to consider. Discuss the blessings of having a job and being able to physically work. Talk about the joy of being able to give to others. Determine whether your family budget accurately reflects your family values. Are you supporting businesses that treat employees justly? Do the businesses care for the environment responsibly? Does your charitable giving express your gratitude to God? Are you giving too little, too much, or an amount that is well balanced with your other priorities? Commit to being better stewards of your money and time. Remember that we must remember God and neighbor, trust in God's love and care for us before serving ourselves. God bless you, and see you at Mass.